I certainly hope you're not lactose intolerant, because this Terran player is starting off with some strong cheese. Let me introduce the People's Terran. It's Cure up against Solar on the, well, not the other side of the map, but further along. Kicking things off, Terran versus Zerg, best of 3. And I'm not gonna hesitate or take too long to ask you to like and subscribe. We got 1,000 likes on the last video, and I promised you I'd cast another series. I also said I'd probably do it anyways. But I'll make you that promise again, with that same asterisk, and say, every day, or at least the majority of them, I'll bring you the best RTS games. And if that means 2 barracks, 2 SCVs, and a classic Terran Proxy Rex build, well, actually, I'm not sure. This might be a terrible game, and you'll never see this. And occasionally that happens. Some of the games, like, you might be like, oh, Winter, show us all the terrible... No, some of them are just not that exciting. But I'm sure this will be, as the bunker already gets slapped down. A couple SCVs, a couple Marines, the drones, predatory. But there's Zerglings on the way. Cure is the backup, but no, he decides against it. Okay, no backup bunker here today. He's committing everything to the bunker that's now being constructed on the creep. As we know, constructing on the creep is against building codes. But if you get grandfathered in before the creep spreads there, that usually works out. The Zerglings looking to wrap around. Drones getting in the way of things. Mineral walk helped out. Zerglings are closing the distance, and Kira loses most of his Marines right off the bat. Gets 3 drone kills. But so far, Solar has handled this almost perfectly. SCV made its way back to body block here a bit. Single Marine caught behind near the balcony over there. And, well, that was slapped away by Solar, almost insulting the hubris with which Kier decided to start out with the Proxy Rex. And while I don't think this translates into a winning position for Solar, it's certainly not very comfortable for the Korean Terran at this point, because he didn't kill that many drones, he didn't delay the hatchery, he lost all of his every single Marine. This was scouted and handled perfectly here. With Solar treating it with respect, but politely yet firmly asking him to get the heck out of here. So Cure does what any self-respecting Terran would do, which is pretend he meant to go 3cc all along. So 3 command centers, 3 hatcheries, as we've now flip-flopped all the way into a full-on macro game. I'm not surprised to see Solar just... this is about as comfortable as it gets for a Zerg player in the early game. You have unchallenged creep spread. You have the ability to drone with impunity. You have full scouting, as there's a very limited possibility. Oh, that Overlord was moving so slowly I didn't notice. That's not how Overlords work. Yep, he's got near full scouting information. Oh, well, there's one significant point that Solar did not see. The 3rd command center was not yet spotted. And without that information, Solar might be a little more conservative than he would otherwise. Though, I mean, he's building 10 drones, 2 queens at a time. He's building no units aside from the dozen or so Zerglings he's produced. It's been about 14. Now a lair on the way. I don't know which direction he's going to take his tech tree, but I don't know if there's a wrong one at this point. As a very, very comfortable start for Solar in game 1 of this series. Oh, I really thought this would be... I don't know what I expected from Cure, but he's like, well, that didn't work. Sits back 3 command centers. I expected a little more give and take there, but he just kind of took it and backed off. So the Viking's still looking for an opportunity. 1 kill. Gets 1 Overlord, and that Overlord was already getting plenty of scouting information. Now Queen pushes it away. So what are we doing with this lair? He's got plenty of gas, or he's 3 gases now. Baneling speed to kick things off. Doesn't quite have enough gas to really justify Mutas. Though this might be one of the few scenarios where you could make it work. As Kier's marine production severely limited. Solar does have double Evo on the way. Tucked in behind the natural, though I'm already seeing a nice little courtyard for marines to drop into. Yeah, there's a spore crawler, but I've seen that sort of action backfire before. I've got 1-1 on the way. Baneling speed for Solar. +1/+1 for Cure as well. In fact, a slight advantage there. Uncloaked Banshee taps on the shoulder of the hatchery. Queens show up to deal with it. And driven away. At least for now. Combat shield on the way. Complementing Stim. So Cure has essentially played the rest of this out like he didn't get smashed with a 2-rack early on. Which is probably the best case scenario. Oh, no. That case just got a little bit less good. As the best case scenario for Cure is to just play this out like he wasn't at a big disadvantage. And hope that Solar either plays so safe that his somewhat greedy play pays off, or just banking on winning a fight or two decisively and the game kind of evening out. There were not a lot of great choices for Cure after losing so much map control. But we'll see what he does with this position now. He actually is one of the best late-game Terran versus Zerg players. And not because his micro is perfect, but because his planning is impeccable. He knows what army he wants to go for. It's just a question of whether he can survive to get there. Alright, 1-1 about to complete for both sides, though Kier does have that split-second advantage. Combat shield finishing up. Infestation pit for Solar. 79 drones completed. He's got the hatchery to the 12 o'clock. 3 across the top line, 1 in the center, and 1 below the main. So 5 hatcheries in total, with 82 drones. 69 SCVs form a nice economic base for Cure, but not going to be enough to compete directly with Solar's income at the moment. Yeah, Solar up 1,200 income overall, split between the resources. Hellions diving in, picking off some creep tumors in the center. But Cure, he is playing it like he's even. And Solar looks like he's going to max out with Hydraling Bane well before 10 minutes. He's got his hive started, saturating his bases, looking to go up to 90 drones. Plenty of Banelings. He does run the risk of sitting back for so long, he just allows Cure to even it up. But Cure's done a very good job of keeping control of the creep spread. He's kept it together back at home. How much production? He's still got only 5 wrecks. The Queens, Brenda's knitting crew, has made it across the center of the map, and the creep is beginning to spread across as well. And that's, well, usually one follows the other. Queens aren't known for their speed. Lurker Den. Macro hatch. Another hatch in the top left corner. Cure establishing his 4th base. Solar just sitting back. He didn't decide to commit to any of these significant attacks, and now Cure is going to be maxed out momentarily. He's got siege tanks. He's got +2. Honestly, as a Terran player, well, as long as you can avoid any significant counterattacks, then you're not feeling too bad about this position right now. Huge amount of Marines. 65 Marines. Handful of Hellbats sprinkled in. Siege tanks on the back line. So right now, Cure. Oh, big counterattack from Solo. This is the most dangerous part. Though a siege tank tucked into the natural is going to drive back a lot of those Zerglings. They re-angle, maybe looking for the 3rd. But there's no Vipers out quite yet. 2-2's done for Cure. Still a few seconds off for Solar. This is the timing at the moment. But a few Banelings force Cure to pick up and drop back out. +1 vehicle weapons completed. 3-3 starts immediately. A few drones down. I believe those were just the ones at the center base. Counterattack smashes through. Siege tank taken out. Few Hydras with it. One of the building command centers will be taken out with no cancel. Kier doesn't have that much money in the bank, so that does cost him. But at the same time, Solar's losing the center base. Down goes a queen. Creep spread pushed back up to the high ground. Double drop looking for another hatchery to the right flank. Kier carving out bases from the map here. Losing a bit back at home, but taking more than an equal amount on the other side. Almost double minerals lost. Yanks a tank, and though Solar finally has the Vipers out, though to an extent just bringing the siege tanks closer. Lurkers on the way. As Solar, he had a lot of runway, but I think it's mostly dried up now. As Kier has taken out the center base, is going to just isolate and kill the top left, which leaves Solar with relatively equal mining locations to Kier. And an equal supply, right near 200. So Solar hasn't been able to do much in the way of counterattacks. The big banelings, pretty clinical splits from Kier. More than enough to minimize the banelings. And that means Kier's going to be able to keep the pressure on. Solar unable to keep up. We've got 3 ghosts on the way as well. I don't know if he saw the lurkers or he just knows that the ghosts are the ultimate late game unit. He certainly knows that much. Drop picks up. Viking still holding guard. Double tier tank push. High ground making things difficult for anything really but the lurkers to deal with it. Drop heading to the back of the base. Big counterattack from Solar, but 200 supply by both sides. Have to see if something gives here soon, as they both still have a solid enough economy. The tank line runs deep. The Vipers are nowhere to be seen, but the oh, I take it back. The blinding cloud makes it so there's nothing to be seen. And without the siege tanks, the Zerg army is breaking through into the natural. Kier, most of his army is out on the map. So even though he had 200 supply, the reinforcements are not enough to deal with it. Kier scrambling to deal with whatever he can. Most of the supply out on the map is, I believe, a bit of a select all army hockey there. As Kier's lackluster defenses now resulting in him being pushed back to his production. 14 SCVs alongside it, but who's flanking who? Lurkers showing up to the party uninvited. Hydra still holding their ground in between all the bases Kier wants to reestablish. And with one dramatic attack, he slices into the heart of the production, and with it has severely limited Kier's opportunity to come back. He just did not have enough units to deal with that full attack there. And Kier just taps it out. Just like that, slices through and cuts him up into bite-sized pieces. A comfortable victory. It looked a little dicey there. Solar gave most of the map up despite having such an advantage. But I guess at the end of the day, it was really about the tech, where Solar was able to comfortably get to Hive, to get lurkers. He could give up a base or two if it meant having to jump on the tech tree there. And the ghosts were not out before the lurkers were already knocking on the door. And that means Solar takes a solid game 1. I really thought he was letting that advantage slip. And maybe a more micro-oriented Terran would have been able to hold on. But Kier didn't quite have the foundation. He didn't have those extra command centers. He didn't have a bunch of ghosts. And some tanks and marines are a known quantity. They're a significant quantity, but a known. Easy enough to deal with if you have the Vipers on the field. By the way, I saw a comment on it. Somebody was desperately looking for it. This is the Culling of Stratholme soundtrack. We're gonna. I know I'm not necessarily a huge fan of walling off, depending on the scenario. But to break the fourth wall here, this is a Blizzard music mix because if there's one thing Blizzard has done in the past, I used to play before StarCraft 2, World of Warcraft, a competitive arena, such as it was in the Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King. So, some nostalgia's there. And also, I mean, all the crafts, all the Blizzard crafts, definitely make an impact. And I think it fits overall. Though, maybe someday we'll update. Thank you for watching. And then this is the deal from, well, you remember Tychus getting suited up. 13 years ago. Hell, we're really old. I didn't... No early aggressions, back to standard cure, not attempting. That was quite a half-hearted proxy, Rex, I will say. Solar just slapping it down. He did put it in a pretty obvious location. Three command centers. Of course. What else would it be? Queen starts the creep, gets bounced around a bit, but the Reaper should not be able to snipe off that first creep tumor, which always sets back the Zerg quite a bit. Dropping down onto the reactor. Okay, this is just his second guess for cure. Not his third, unfortunate. More than two guesses this early would have some severe tech implications. But just taking the safest ones. I wouldn't be surprised if Solar just plays right down the middle of the road. The Baneling speed first is by far the most popular to deal. Well, if you don't have Baneling speed, it feels like you shouldn't build Banelings at all. I guess that goes for many Zerg strategies. Just in general. There's a reason why everything and its mother has a speed upgrade. As closing the distance is the most important part, essentially, of Zerg in general. Both for lore and practical reasons. Liberator on the way. For cure here. Opting for the 1/1/1. The most bare bones opener with the Liberator. Not even adding a tech lab. It'll probably look like a Viking. Though I don't think Solar has been bamboozled. As he starts... Well... No, I'm not smart. Okay. So he already built a Viking. That's the Overlord died to a Viking. So he already has a Viking, and he doesn't have a tech lab. What does he build? He's not building a medevac. Well, I guess he could be. But the other major risk is a Liberator, so... I was trying to puzzle out why Solar had Spore Crawlers in perfect anti-Liberator locations. But it doesn't take a mathematical genius in order to figure out that the options are relatively limited. And Solar has done a little math in his day himself. Upgrade facilities, engineering bay, evolution chamber. On the way. Liberator gonna try to sneak in. The Spore Crawler. Papers, please. Liberator refuses to respond. I don't understand the question. I won't respond to it. Well, that's annoying. Hellions gonna try to take advantage of the situation. Really? We're gonna do the bait and switch? The oldest trick in the book. Draw the queens out of position, run the Hellions in. There's only one queen here. My babies! Oh no. It's a disaster. I can't believe this is working so well. This is disgusting. 12 drones, 14. It isn't the most impactful 14 drones so far. as Solar was already past the 50 mark. But, like, that feels like about half a dozen more than needed to go down. Well, the almost lackadaisical run by there ends up getting significant damage, and Cure now on 3cc with mules and plenty of production on the line. This is almost a direct reversal of the previous game. The previous game where Solar had map control. Solar had map control. He had the economic lead. He had the worker count. Now Cure is the one that, even though Solar catches up in drones, those are larvae that can't be spent on units. Baneling speed just started. Armory is already done. Hellbat's being added into the push here. And without Baneling speed in this scenario, the upgrades aren't really required for Cure to get some damage done. He pushes up to the 4th. An urgency to this attack, recognizing his limited yet, oh no, a few more drones. 5 drones go down. But he does kind of stick around a little bit long, and it ends up costing him the lives of many of his Marines. As he saw those drones and went straight for it. Clumping up for the Banelings there. And, well, it could have gone a little better, but the key part is the production. The ability, not so much what you do with the units you have, but how many units you can build behind them. And Cure just finished up his 6th, 7th, and 8th Rex, which gives him unrivaled production at this stage of the game. He's got his 4th command center in production. And right now, Baneling speed isn't even done. 1-1 for both sides. Pushing in towards the 4th again. 12 seconds on Bane speed. Queen's trying to hold. Zergling's getting caught on some Hellbats here. 5 more seconds. More Queens going down. And Bane speed is done. They're rolling. But it just doesn't seem... Well, the Baneling's off a creep. Don't want to stick around for too long. Solar. In trouble. He's pushed up against his own hatchery. Has to run around. Oh, ends up targeted down. This is not enough. As Cure takes advantage of the situation and cuts Solar down to size. Maybe getting a bit lucky on that run by, but taking full advantage of it. He struck while the iron was hot. He took advantage of the fact that Solar could not really invest in unit production if he wanted to keep up his economy. And he just slices through to tie the series up 1-1. Game 3. Thank you guys for watching, by the way. I joke about the 1,000 likes. But it's 1, it's working, and 2, I do enjoy it. The arbitrary number. Or the dislikes as well. Either way. Just get engaged, you know what I mean? That's what they say on the YouTube suggestions for making it seem like people care. They're like, have your viewers pretend to care by smashing the like button. Remember when YouTube... Back in my day, we had a star system. Okay? You like, out of 5 stars. Okay, and if that video was only 4 stars, well, that's how you know it's complete and utter trash. No, put 5 stars on there. Grandpa! The only stars that I know about are craft. It's like, okay, Billy. Grandpa, stop reminiscing about a time before Google took over YouTube. Google says they took over YouTube in 2007, which was less than 2 years after. Shut up, Billy! I'm not that old. It was a good year. Ah, yes, but such a short time, though. Reaper. Scouting Reaper. One rack expand. Not surprised to see Cure falling back to it. Clearly, it didn't take much for him to end up in a winning position in the previous match. That was a bit almost lazy by Solar. He seemed very ready for the Liberator, but the Hellions just casually strolling in was far from ideal. Queen bounced around. Actually ends up closer to the Reaper. Gonna try the Creep Tumor, but Reaper already took way too much damage to be able to challenge it. I'm back to questioning. Like, players will trade out. Technically, the Reaper can outrange the Queen to an extent. But so many players will take so much damage on their Reaper they can't even pretend to challenge the Creep Tumor. And I always wonder, like, is it worth making the Queen feel mildly uncomfortable and sacrificing any chance of delaying the Creep Tumor because of it? Apparently, yes. Oh my god, here he goes. Yeah, well, yeah, I get it. Okay, all right, you're the professional. Sorry, my bad. Slight delay on Creep. But huge mental victory for Cure. Banshee on the way. Drops the grenade. Oh, goodness. So yeah, watch this. It's like, why though? Why? There's no creep there. There's no purpose. Watch it. Watch me nail this drive. All right. Hellions on the way. Hellion Banshee. A tale as old as StarCraft 2. Ah, yes. Nowadays, you see a lot of players going for Reapers into reactored Hellions and cloaked Banshees, which differs significantly from the builds back in Wings of Liberty when we saw players usually open up with Reaper and then followed up with reactored Hellion and then would oftentimes add on a cloaked Banshee. Or two. Or more. Well, it's kind of rare to get more than two. That's a whole nother thing. But a couple Banshees enough to kill drones pretty quickly. Maybe have some defense. You know, cover your bases. Literally and figuratively. Whoa. Okay, we get it, Cure. 3 for... Yes, very good. Very, very good. Okay, okay, pass the ball. Two engineering base. Do we have 2 Evo chambers out of Solar yet? Not yet. Banshee, taking a look. These two players are, like, these are macro players, okay? Honestly, I'm always a little reluctant for Solar versus Cure. They're in that solid macro. Like, it's like a Keanu Reeves. Like, you know? Well, they're gonna be pretty good. It's not gonna be a scandal. Just pretty chill. Okay. General impression. You're not gonna get too much out of it, though. At least in the early game. Even the cheesy game. Even the proxy Rex ended up just being kind of a passive macro game for quite a while. As soon as the cheese dried up. But here we are with 5 racks finished. Did he wall off his... Oh, he's just like us. Okay, the pros. The People's Terran has walled off his siege tanks. Cure! Wow, this is kind of a creative way to do it. The NG Bay, he can't actually fit in the gap between those. I haven't quite seen that one. Always new and creative ways to wall off your siege tanks. Yeah, I'm watching it. Yep. Oh god, another one. Wait. Shame. Just building Widow Mines. I meant to build Widow Mines the whole time, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, Care. Alright. That's totally what I wanted. Another factory, conspicuously not in the main. Oh, he does have cloak, but there's an overseer, one banshee down. Pretty solid push coming together, but 1-1 in combat shield not completed yet, so Kier just an exploratory... Why are you shoot? Oh, he shot a creep tumor, which was in the midst of all his marines, so the siege tank just smashed a bunch of marines with a siege tank shot. All right, 1-1 finishing up. Combat shield as well. Solar, his base not to be. Hydra's done is on the way. Marines holding a pretty solid position outside the third. Siege tanks not... Oh my god. Well, Kier's building the walls. Diving in. One queen down. Looking for more. Banelings posing quite an existential threat, though. Queens exhausting most of their energy just to stay alive. Solar at 77 drones. Here, 67 SCVs, putting them very similar economies at this stage. Now, Banelings right at the edge of that creep. My god. Cure has walled off his SCVs from mining gas. I mean, better than every one of them dying. A little bit of gas and efficiency. Whole lot of Zerglings. Decent target fire. Picks off a few extra Banelings right at the end there. Cure heads to the main. Infestation pit is actually in there as well, finishing up. Could start the hive momentarily, assuming the main is still intact. Attack to the top right, down goes the base. I think it just started out, but Spore Crawler in position, taken out, and then picks up and dives away. Another set of units. The Widow Mines dotting the field. Oh, the Zerglings are slammed by the mines. Some massive connections, but then the Banelings come in turn. It's a good thing the Banelings are going to recharge in 30 seconds and be... Oh. The Banelings crashing into the Marines. Solar suffering on supply, though. Down 158 to 148, which is not where you want to be up against the increasingly efficient Terran army. 2-2 on the way. Banshee helping out to clear some of the creep in the center. Base to the south, 6 o'clock position. Once again about to come under fire by Cure. Creep just respread to it, but did not see this coming. A few Widow Mines on the back line. Oh my god. Terrible, terrible damage being dealt there. Another set of mines, and solar supply dips dramatically. 181 to 161. The Banelings coming in. The medevacs in dramatic repair. Down goes one with several Marines still inside. But most of the Marines are able to unload into the main, which now has a hive and a macro hatch. Cure takes out the overseers as well. The Hydras aren't able to come back in time. Picks up, poofs out. More medevacs over to the north side. Swinging down for the 3 o'clock base. Solar under pressure right now. He is 1 or 2 bad fights away from getting overrun by the sheer deep... Oh, well. I guess the same could be said for the other side as well. As Akira loses his medevacs to the Queens as they try to escape from the main. Adrenal glands on the way. +2 melee. Widow Mine connects with just an Overlord. More medevacs heading in. Hydra's driving back. The Marine count's still high enough. Cure maintaining near 200 supply. It's not about how many Marines you lose. It's about how many you have to replace them. And right now, with 8 barracks, including how many reactors? 1, 2, 3, 4 reactor racks. He can easily replace those Marines. Solar, on the other hand, did not start his lurker den with the hive. So he's going to be under continued pressure here from just this immensely cost-effective bioarm. And overall, well, the Vipers come out. Parasitic Bomb going to soften up those medevacs. It doesn't stack, but it prevents the spread. Still, though, the Marauders, the Marines, the Widow Mines. The spread is so good, I can't believe it's not butter. 4 ghosts on the way. The Cure closing in, whittling down the Zerg. Solar running out of options, and Banelings, more importantly. Though, sometimes the same thing. Solar He needs that lurker den, or he needs to win a fight dramatically. He's dragging the Widow Mines! The Widow Mines end up being the best addition to the Zerg army. Cure ends up killing 3 of his own medevacs with those mines throughout that fight, compared to 4, which were killed by Solar. Alright, Solar regrouping, but that was the slight bit of spell. The rocks! What? Was that intentional? I couldn't even tell if he was trying to take those out or not, but the rocks come down and isolate part of the army, almost seemingly accidentally. We got 4 ghosts on the way. Already 4 on the field, right? 6, 7. Okay, the ghost count is rising dramatically. We'll see if Solar has enough Ghostbusters, or if he needs to call more. +2 melee attack complete. +3 infantry weapons, though, is nearly operational for Cure's army. And that does help the ghosts as well in their auto attacks. Alright, another group of Marines and Marauders, never committing too much. Is there drilling claws? Indeed there is, but able to take out the Widow Mines in time. Solar holding. But can he break out? Parasitic Bomb. Cure quarantines one of his medevacs. Seismic Spines on the way, but no lurkers on the field quite yet. Adaptive Talons being produced. 3-3 just now starting for Solar. Under heavy pressure for so long. Cure. Closing in. The snipes! But he's got to get out of there before the banelings roll by, and he does. He gets away with the one-shot murder. Vipers with energy. A few more Widow Mines. Hit some of the ghosts. Banelings hit some more. Oh, lines up a shot. Doesn't quite get the Viper. The spread is still very good here from Cure. Another round of snipes, and the banelings are not able to match it. The ghost count is so damn high. Wow, the wall actually worked out. Solar's units tried to go all the way around before he realized exactly what was going on. The SCVs try to hold the wall. It ain't gonna happen. Banelings rolling in. SCVs obliterated. 18 of them drenched in acid. Meanwhile, the ghosts try to come forward. Action on both sides of the map. Oh my. Vipers. Looking for an opportunity. Lining up more shots. Yet I don't know if abduct is the choice. Well, he gets a couple ghosts. I guess he keeps the Viper up. No, he lost one of the Vipers there to snipe. And there's just nothing here to stop the Bio Army as he targets down the hatchery, picks up and avoids the lurkers. Cure picks up and heads to the main. Parasitic Bomb. He has it. That could do a lot of damage to the medevacs, but he is able to get out of there. Medevac drop. Cure is everywhere. Cure picks up, headed to the third. He's got the attack at the top right. Takes out the hatch. Drones transferring. No! 23 dead. And counting. Lurkers move to respond to the medevacs, but Cure is all over the place, and Solar's only scrambling to keep up. Yes, this army will be taken out, but this is a true war of attrition right now. Solar taking a few massive bites out of Cure's army right at the end here, but oh, he lines up the shots with the ghosts and drops out in the newly cleared area. That was not that. Okay, well, this was ambitious. And he runs out of energy. I don't know about this one. Well, there's little. Well, he loses all the ghosts. So, A for effort, C+ for execution. You could see what was going, like what he was thinking about. It just didn't work out. Either way, though, Cure's production will more than make up for any sort of curious micro plays, if you would. A few more ghosts gonna go down. Cure is an expert at losing an inordinate amount of ghosts. Bunch of changelings in the mix there. I'm not sure. They're kind of getting in the way of the Zerg army. Lurkers burrowing in the third. A base which was mostly cleared out earlier, but going to be sliced and diced the rest of it. And, well, the ghost looking for this round. Cure! Cure! Cure keeps running out of energy! No! God! Oh, Kier's been looking great, but in typical... Here's the thing, like, Kier makes us realize why there's such a disparity. That's why he's the people's Terran. His macro is incredible, but his micro is just human. Solar actually grinding the game back right now. Between the lurkers, all the worker kills, and the questionable ghost protocols here. Solar? I'm not gonna say it was a great position. Did he get like hit by a widow mine and rage quit or something? This was the closest the game's been in so long. I truly, I mean, I don't think that he was in a winning position by any means, but at this moment, I don't think Solar's out of the game at all, considering what's happened, especially how Kier's been playing. Huh. Well, what an unceremonious ending here. As, I mean, if Kier puts together one strong attack, sure it can end, but it is a bit against it. I'm gonna give a yellow card here for Solar on this one. We all know there's a protocol to when you GG. You GG after you lose a fight, like you lose a critical amount of army. It's clear you're not coming back from that. You don't GG after you win several fights and drive your opponent back to their base while still having a stable economy. So, a bit of a wag of the finger on that one. What do you think? Was it early? Was it inevitable? Either way, and a question mark on the end of this otherwise quite, while standard, dramatic series. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Let's see if we can keep those 1,000 likes up, get some more casts going on. I'll be casting this, but thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope I made your day a little bit better. Good luck, have fun. See you next time. Stay chill.